By Senator Tom Cotton. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. Good to be on with you.
Good to be here. Got a lot to ask you here, a lot I want to talk about. Most of this is going to be debated on a bigger stage. Other things I want to touch on, I have to watch my time too, but the biggest question for me as far as immigration reform, this is something that came up yesterday. Why are you involved in this particular issue?
I believe very strongly that our immigration system needs to be reformed to serve the interest of working Arkansans. It's been tried and failed 3 times in the last 11 years by doing everything under the sun, by trying to address the status of those who are here illegally, secure our border, and enforce laws at the workplace, address our legal immigration system. I think the better, more sensible approach is an incremental, common sense look at the way we reward the most valuable, precious thing that most people could ever get in the world, which is American citizenship. So I've cared about this for a long time. I think Donald Trump won in part last year because his views on immigration had reflected my views. They hadn't reflected the views that had failed in both parties for a decade in Washington.
How does immigration reform affect working Arkansans, and how does your involvement in this issue directly affect our state?
So for years now, we've admitted about 1 million people to our country every year. That's the size of Montana every year. That's like adding a new Arkansas every 3 years. The vast majority of those new immigrants are unskilled and low-skilled workers, which means they're competing directly for the same jobs and keeping wages down for blue-collar Arkansans who have struggled for a long time. If you've got a high school degree or less, you haven't seen a real pay raise in your paycheck for 40 years, for my entire lifetime. I think it's smart that we focus our immigration system on high-skilled individuals who aren't going to drive down wages or compete for the same jobs that working-class Arkansans are facing.
Kevin Miller with Senator Tom Cotton, News Radio 102.9 KARN. Is that dream of America, the American dream, now dead to an immigrant without skills or those without means? I mean, it sounds like we only want to have those that are English-speaking, educated, middle or upper class. Is there still a path for the person who wants to work for something better for their family but doesn't fit that criteria?
There is, Kevin, but I would say that we should look at it from the other view. That's looking at it from the view of the immigrant or the foreigner. I understand why many people around the world would want to come to America. It's the greatest, most exceptional country on earth. But we should look at it from the view of the American citizen. And that's true whether they just took the oath of citizenship or whether their families came over on the Mayflower. Our immigration policy should serve the interests of American citizens who are here today. So it won't be only immigration based on high skills, high quality education, demonstrated wage potential. We still have a very robust family reunification program for spouses and for unmarried minor children. We also are going to continue the refugee program. We're simply going to say that Congress should be able to put a cap on it, not allow the president to expand it without limit, as happened in the last years of the Obama administration. But fundamentally, our immigration policy should serve the interest of American citizens, and we should look at it through the eyes of working-class Arkansans, not through the eyes of people who are living around the world who, of course, would like to come to the United States.
Senator Tom Cotton, News Radio 102.9 KARN. It's, of course, a controversial issue. We'll talk about it more. Healthcare, the president continues to push this issue, too, and it looks like the Senate is going to now follow its own timeline here. Is it time to reach across the aisle and work together with Democrats and other Republicans to find a solution?
Yeah, Kevin, the president is right that health care is not going away. It's too important an issue for Arkansas families, and it causes too much anxiety, and for them, it costs too much. So whatever the timeline is, we're going to have to return to health care. I was disappointed with the result late last week. I wish that we could have passed the bill out of the Senate and moved forward to negotiations with the House. But I'm going to keep working on it because I've heard from too many Arkansans who are too worried about their health care, who are paying too much after Obamacare, who haven't been able to go back to their traditional doctor over time. So I'm going to keep working on it. And if the Democrats would like to sit down and work with us on that, I'm happy to do so as well.
Senator Tom Cotton, News Radio 102.9 KARN. I'm Kevin Miller. The president also saying that Congress should have to be on the same plan as everyone else. He's not the first person to suggest that. And why should Congress not be on the same kind of plan as the rest of us?
Well, he's right about that. Congress is on the same plan. If you're a member of Congress and you don't get Medicare or your retiree care from the military or through your spouse, then you get it through the Obamacare exchanges.
Senator Tom Cotton, we will talk again soon. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Good morning. 747 News Radio 102.9 KARN. Let's look at what's happening in news now. Bob Steele.